Hey everybody, it's Trade Test Jobon here. And if you're watching this, you're probably about to embark on an exciting journey. But before you can jet set across the world, there's that one crucial step, the visa interview. That's why I'm breaking down everything you need to know to absolutely crush your visa interview and finally get that stamp of approval. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be walking into that embassy like a boss. Okay, so before we dive into the nitty-gritty of how to ace your visa interview, let's take a step back and understand what it actually is and why it's such a big deal. Basically, it's a face-to-face meeting with a visa officer who works at the embassy or consulate of the country you want to visit. Think of it like a job interview. But instead of trying to impress a hiring manager, you're trying to convince the visa officer that you're a legitimate traveler who's going to follow the rules and, most importantly, return home after your trip. That last part is key, especially if you're applying for a tourist visa. They want to make sure you're not trying to sneakily immigrate without going through the proper channels. They'll ask you questions about your travel plans, your finances, your ties to your home country. Basically, anything they need to assess whether you meet the requirements for a visa. Think of your application as the trailer and the interview as the whole movie. The application gets your foot in the door, but the interview is where you really sell them on your story. It's your opportunity to bring your application to life, answer any questions they might have, and prove that you're exactly who you say you are. Let's be real here. First impressions matter, and when it comes to your visa interview, how you present yourself visually can speak volumes before you even utter a single word. Think of it like this. You wouldn't show up to a job interview in your pajamas, right? Well, the same principle applies here. You want to dress in a way that shows respect for the process and for the visa officer's time. Now, when I say dress professionally, I don't necessarily mean you need to show up in a full-blown tuxedo or evening gown. The key here is to aim for a polished and put-together look. For men, this could mean a collared shirt, some well-fitting trousers, and a nice pair of shoes. For women, a formal blouse, skirt, or trousers would work perfectly. Think of it this way. Dressing professionally is like showing up to a meeting with a potential investor in a crisp, clean business plan. By dressing the part, you're instantly communicating that you're taking the interview seriously and that you're respectful of the process. All right, let's talk about documents for a second. This is where so many people trip up, and let me tell you, it's not a good look. Imagine this. You're in the hot seat. The visa officer asks for your financial statements, and you're digging through a messy backpack like it's a black hole. Papers flying everywhere. Not exactly the image of a prepared and organized traveler, right? This is why having all your documents in order is non-negotiable. The essentials include your passport, visa application form, appointment confirmation, proof of financial stability, travel itinerary, and any supporting documents specific to your visa type. Now here's the pro tip. Don't just shove all these documents into a random folder. Invest in a nice, professional-looking folder or binder. Trust me, this small investment of time and effort can make a world of difference. Okay, here's the thing. Visa officers are like human lie detectors. They've heard it all, seen it all, and they can smell BS from a mile away. So my number one piece of advice for this section, be honest. I cannot stress this enough. Don't even think about embellishing the truth or trying to hide something. Remember, they have access to databases and can cross-check information, so any little white lie can turn into a big fat red flag. You want to answer their questions confidently and clearly. Speak directly, maintain eye contact, and don't be afraid to take a moment to gather your thoughts if you need to. The more genuine and straightforward you are, the better the impression you'll make. This one might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people stumble over their own travel plans during a visa interview. It's like going into a pitch meeting without knowing your product inside and out. You need to be able to articulate your travel plans clearly and concisely. Where are you going? Why are you going there? How long are you planning to stay? What are you planning to do while you're there? These are all questions you should be able to answer without hesitation. For the purpose of the interview, you need to have a solid itinerary in place. This shows the visa officer that you've put some thought into your trip and that you're not just winging it. Practice explaining your travel plans out loud, as if you were talking to the visa officer. The more prepared you are, the smoother the interview process will be. You know how they say communication is about more than just words? Well, that couldn't be truer when it comes to visa interviews. Your body language is speaking volumes, even when your mouth is shut. First things first, eye contact. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but try to maintain eye contact with the visa officer as much as possible. It shows that you're engaged, you're listening, and you're being truthful. On the flip side, avoiding eye contact can make you seem suspicious or untrustworthy. Sit up straight, shoulders back, and feet planted on the ground. This projects confidence and shows that you're taking the interview seriously. All right, let's talk about something super important. Knowing when to stop talking. I know, it sounds simple enough, right? But you'd be surprised how many people end up rambling during their visa interviews, offering up way more information than necessary. Remember, this isn't a therapy session, it's a visa interview. Your goal is to answer the questions concisely and accurately, without going off on tangents or sharing irrelevant details. Think of it like this. Every word you say is an investment. You want to make sure each investment counts, providing valuable information that helps the visa officer understand your situation and make a decision. Unnecessary information is like a risky investment. It might not hurt you, but it's not going to help you either. So, stick to the point, answer the questions directly, and resist the urge to over-explain. Okay, folks, let's talk about something that should be a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how often it happens: lying or using fake documents. I'm going to be blunt here. This is a one-way ticket to a denied visa, and trust me, it's not a risk worth taking. Visa officers have access to a wealth of information, and they know how to spot a fake document from a mile away. Even a small lie can have serious consequences, not just for this visa application, but for any future travel plans you might have. So here's the deal. Be truthful, be transparent, and be authentic. Don't try to be someone you're not. And don't try to present a fabricated version of your situation. Remember, the truth always comes out, and it's always better to be upfront and honest from the get-go. Let's talk about something that's crucial for a successful visa interview. Keeping your cool. I know. The visa process can be nerve-wracking, and it's easy to get defensive or argumentative, especially if you feel like you're being treated unfairly. But trust me, arguing with the visa officer is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It's only going to make things worse. Remember, the visa officer is the one with the power to approve or deny your application. Instead of arguing, focus on remaining calm, respectful, and composed. If you disagree with something the visa officer says, politely clarify your point of view without raising your voice or becoming confrontational. Here's a mistake I see people make all the time. They memorize their answers like they're auditioning for a play. But let me tell you, there's nothing more off-putting to a visa officer than a robotic, rehearsed response. Remember, they're looking for genuine interactions, not scripted performances. You want to come across as authentic and engaging, not like you're reciting lines from a teleprompter. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't prepare at all. It's still important to familiarize yourself with common interview questions and to think about how you might answer them. But instead of memorizing word-for-word responses, focus on understanding the key points you want to convey and on expressing yourself naturally and confidently. And there you have it, folks. Those are my top tips for acing your visa interview and finally getting that stamp of approval. Remember, preparation is key. The more prepared you are, the more confident you'll feel, and the better your chances of success. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want more tips and tricks on navigating the world of travel and finances, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.